see some people finished or nearly finished. Now don't be tricked. Remember at the end they say write your answer in the form ax plus by plus c equals 0. Are we ready to see the answer? Yeah? I'm seeing, I can't tell if you're confused or tired or hungry or all of the above. All of them. Yeah, it's tough. Right, let's have a look at this one now. So, oops. Right. Okay, we have, this is line L, and that's parallel to this line, which is 2x minus y plus 1 equals 0. And not only is it parallel to that line, it also passes through the point here, 7, 10, and that's line L there. What should I do first? What's my first job here? Rearrange. Yeah, I have to take this and rearrange it. Now, how am I rearranging it? What am I trying to achieve? Y equals mx plus c. Yeah. So in fact, I can actually do that pretty easily by just bringing the y over to the right. So I get 2x plus 1 equals y. And now I can actually clearly see what the m is. It's 2. Because this is like mx plus c. So if this one has m equals 2, then what is this one? Y. Because it's parallel. Okay, we're doing good. Now we have y equals mx plus c. So how do I find c? Substitute, yeah. This point, isn't it? It's the only point I have. So if I put that in, I get 10 equals 2 times 7, which is 14 plus c. So c equals minus 4. Y equals 2x minus 4. Am I finished? No, because the question says write your answer equal to 0. So to finish it, I just have to bring this guy over to the right, and I get 2x minus y minus 4 equals 0. And that's the answer. Okay, can you check your answer? And if you don't have it, that's fine. If you can write this down. And if you do have it, that's great. You made a sign mistake, was it? What was the sign mistake? Plus 4. This is okay at the back? Yeah.
Will you share this on your YouTube channel?
Of course, but you must promise me one thing. You must like and subscribe.
I always say
Subscribe? But do you like?
No.
Okay. Then make sure you like this video then. It's free, it's open, yeah. Okay, can we on to the next topic now? There are more questions here about the equation of the line. You can see that the fourth question down is another equation of the line. But before we do that, I want to move on to something different. I want to look at inequalities. So let's just review some of the basic rules for inequalities, okay? The nice thing about inequalities is that it's mostly like equals. Let me show you what I mean. If I have something like 2x plus 4 is less than 6, I can say that 2x is less than 6 minus 4. That's fine. And I can also do something like add these together. 2x less than 2. You know. And I'm also allowed to divide by the 2, so I get x is less than 1. So you might say, well, what's the difference? Well, there's actually one situation that's special. I wonder if anyone knows what I mean. There's one thing we have to be careful about with inequalities. I wonder, does anybody know? So, yeah, what exactly with the sign now? Something happens. When? Yeah. If you have a situation like this, let's say you have minus 2x plus 3 less than 5, and you do something like you take the 3 over, that's fine. You have minus 2x is less than 2. But then if you were to divide here by the minus 2 to cancel that, this guy flips. So you get x is bigger than minus 1. Now you just be careful with that. So when you multiply or divide by negatives, it flips around. But I think you all knew that. Yeah. The next one though is the quadratics. So let's say I have something like this guy. X squared minus 5x plus 6 less than or equal to 0. What do we do here? Does anybody know the steps? Yeah, what do you think? Factorize. You have two choices. You can factorize, or you could just use the formula. Which would you prefer? Yeah, everybody likes the formula. So, we'll get the solutions here using the formula. Do you know the formula off by heart? What is it? Minus b plus minus square root. Yeah, it's not 4 yet. No, not yet. B squared.
Minus 40.
Yeah. 2a. Yeah, and here the a is equal to what? 1, because it's like a 1 here. B is minus 5, and C is 6. Now I'll save you time. When you put in the numbers, you'll get 2 and 3 as the answer. Okay, so you get 2 or 3. Now you might think, oh great, I'm finished, easy peasy. I'll just say x equals 2 or x equals 3. But no, why is that wrong? Why should I not say this? Why can't I just say x is 2 or x is 3? What have I done wrong? Or does it look okay? Any ideas? No? No? It looks okay? Seems legit? I can't say equal because this is not an equals to begin with. You see, it's not equals here, so I can't say equals here. So now we have a problem. We have this problem. We have x blank 2 or x blank 3. And the question is, what do we put in the box? Do we say it's equal? No, we know it's not equal. So it can only be either this or this. And now we have to decide which one it is. And you might think, oh, well, Stephen, that's easy. Because it's this at the start, then it must be this at the end. It's like, no, it doesn't work like that. So there is an easy way to actually figure out which one it is. Okay? You draw a very, very quick graph. And you mark off 2 and you mark off 3. And you know quadratics are this shape. Yeah? And then what you do is you look at this. If it's less than, that means it's under. And if it's more than, that means it's over. In this case, it's what? Over or under? Under. Meaning this part of the graph. Okay? So if I'm at 2, I want to be more than 2. If I'm at 2, I want to be more than 2. So x is more than 2. If I'm at 3, am I looking left or right? Do I want to be more than or less than 3? I want to be less than 3, because I want this part. So that means x needs to be less than 3. And this is how we can decide what do we put at the end. Yeah? Have you seen this before, or is this something different to what you've seen? It's a bit different, is it? Yeah. You might be wondering, how does it work if it's the other way, if it's more than? Okay, so I'll just, for a moment, just go onto the side really quickly. If it was more than, if you have more than 0, I'm looking for here and here, because I want above. Okay, so if I'm at 2, do I want to be more than or less than 2?
Yes.
I want to be less than 2. Or, if I'm at 3, do I want to be more than or less than 3? I want to be more than 3. So it's different to this. Yeah. Okay, so what I want you to do is I want you to just write this one down, and then we'll have a look at just one other thing before I let you try one. You wrote this down, but you didn't draw my nice little picture. And the picture is critical for this. Okie dokie, do we have this? Yeah. Okay. So, before I let you try one, just a special type of quadratic here. Suppose I ask you to solve this, x squared minus 49 equal to 0. Now this is a quadratic, but what's a little bit weird about this quadratic? What's a little bit strange about it? Yeah, well, okay, don't worry about the equals to. Let's just, I want an equals to. So I more meant what's weird about this part. There's, yeah, well, what's it missing? It's missing something. Not the C, it has a C. It's missing the B, isn't it? Yeah. But if you really want to, you can just rewrite it like this. 1x squared plus 0x minus 49. And then you could use the formula, if you like. And if you use the formula, you'll get two answers here, plus 7 or minus 7. Which you might have figured out anyways if you were to take this over to the other side at the beginning and square root it. But anyways, I just wanted you to point, I wanted to point out sometimes it's convenient to actually write things in this form by adding in a 0 if you're missing it. Yeah, that's sometimes quite useful to do. Now that I've done that, I think you can try the second question. Now, don't worry about the first part. I'll explain that. What I just want you to do first for me is to solve each equation separately. Okay, so I want you to solve the first one, which is linear, and I want you to solve the second one, which is quadratic. Do you see those in the second question? Yeah, okay. Let's see if you can do that. Before you start, actually, what is the first thing you should do with the linear problem? Yeah, you should remove the brackets. Yeah, okay, good. You think you got it done? Are you doing the quadratic part now? Yeah. how are we doing over there? You're looking at the quadratic formula, yeah? And your quadratic formula, you're sharing the calculator. Who's missing their calculator? Why don't you have yours? You're that lazy, you don't take out your bag. I thought Way was my laziest student, but she'd be pleased to know she's no longer the laziest student I have. Thank you. Hey. That's English, isn't it? It needs to be. Yeah? Yes. Okay, let's have a look at this now. How are you doing over there by the window? Which part are you on? Doing the quadratic, is it? Okay. And down the back there, which doing the quadratic, okay. Okay, I think that's enough time that I should start to do it. So, let's look at the linear part first. I have 3 times 2x plus 5 more than 33. What should I do first here? You suggested, yeah, what do I do first here? Open the bracket. So what will this become then? What did you get? 6x plus 15, more than 33. Now, what's my next job? To bring the 15 over to the right, and it becomes minus 15, doesn't it? So, is that 18? Yeah. Great. And then, finally, divide by the 6, and I hope you all got x is more than 3. Okay, that's half the question, but now there's a second half here with a quadratic. X squared minus 36 less than or equal to 0, which you can write as x squared plus 0x minus 36 less than or equal to 0, if it makes you happy. And when you solve this, you get 2 answers for x. I already know what you're going to get. You should have gotten minus 6 and plus 6. Now I see you're making a face that says I didn't get that. Oh, you're just not there yet. You have to type it in, yeah. Well, I'll ruin the surprise. You'll get minus 6 and plus 6. Did you get that? Yeah. So, do I want to be above or below for this one? Over or under? Above or below? What? Below here, yeah. Because it's less than 0. So, I have my 2 answers, minus 6, x, and x. So, if I start here, do I want to be more than or less than minus 6 if I want to be here? I need to be more than. And if I'm standing here, do I want to be more than or less than 6? Now, why the heck did I write minus 6 again? Sorry. More than or less than? Here? If I'm here, I want to be less than. Yeah, because I want to be to the left here. And here I want to be to the right. Because I'm trying to be in this part of the graph. Now, the final part, if I can get both together. Yeah, this is my answer for part 1, and this is my answer for part 2. Now, I'll just draw a number line here. So, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. X more than 3. And also we're told that x is an integer. Now I don't remember if I told you this last week, if it came up. Does anybody know this word integer? What type of number is an integer? Do we know what type it is? No? No guesses? No? No, not even worth a guess. Yeah, it's a whole number. But not only is it a whole number, it's a positive or negative whole number. So, what is the first integer bigger than 3? 4. Then the next one? 5, 6, 7, etc. All the way to infinity. To infinity. Okay, now let's look at this answer. I have 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, minus 6, 7, 8, 9, blah, 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 7, 8, 9, blah, blah, blah. Okay, x should be bigger than or equal to minus 6. So what is the first integer that is bigger than or equal to minus 6? No. Yeah, minus 6 because it could be equal. So it starts at minus 6. And then the next one? Minus 5, minus 4, etc. And then all the way up. And where do I stop? What's my last one here? 6. Okay. Now what they want to do is they want you to satisfy both. Meaning they want you to look at both answers and choose the x's that work for both. So, could I choose the number 2? No, because number 2 is okay here, it's one of the answers, but is the number 2 one of the answers here? No, it's not. No. So if you look at both answers here, what are my final x's? What x's will satisfy both, that will work in both? Well, 6 will definitely work in both. Yeah, so I'll write down 6. What else? 5 will work in both. What else? 4 will work in both. Anything else? No. Because I kind of have to stop at 4. Even though there are more answers here, I can't go past 4. So my answers are 4, 5, and 6. These are the integers that satisfy both problems. Now you see, that's a little bit tricky. It's a little bit tricky to put those answers together at the end. Okay, so I'll finish. This is the answer. X could be 4, 5, or 6. Yeah. Okay. So I think you should draw the number line, or write something down. You look very unhappy with this. Oh, you look so unhappy with this.
No, just my face.
It's natural, is it? Okay. Does this make sense? Is okay? Yes? Is okay? That's a little bit hard, I know this. Let's see. I would like you to practice another inequality. So I can see that if I go on to the next page, page 4. When you're ready, can you try just part 1 of the top A part 1? Oh, by the way, sorry, as we're doing these questions, can you just tick them off so that we can keep track of which ones we've done? So we've done 1 and 2 here, the first 2. And what I'd like you to do is, I only want you to do the first part at the top here, okay? Can you try that now for me, A part 1? Now that's an easy one, and then I'll have a hard one for you to try in a minute. Alright, does anybody have an answer for that one? You have an answer? What's your answer? Minus 2. I think you made a sign mistake somewhere. Did you change your... What was your first step? What did you do first? Ah, no. You can't take that over while the 4 is in the denominator. You'll have to bring the 4 across first. Right, does anybody else get an answer? Nearly. Just read very carefully exactly what they want there. You're almost at it. At the back?
-5.
Oh no, something went wrong there. Over here? That answer?
X is equal and greater than 7/2.
Yes, same answer as her. You are nearly finished. There's one thing left for you to do. Just read exactly what they want there. Have you figured out what the extra step is? Let me do it now. So, a couple of people here, they have the idea. 6x plus 11 over 4 greater than or equal to 8. Now, before I can move the 11 over, I have to bring the 4 up. So I have 6x plus 11 greater than or equal to 32. 8 times 4. Right, now I take the 11 over to the right. I get 6x is greater than or equal to 32 minus 11 is 21. Then what do I do next? Divide by 6 and I'll get 3.5 or 7/2 as you left it. But that's not quite the answer, because let's read the question carefully. Write down the smallest integer which satisfies this. So let's look at the number line. There's 3.5. What is the next integer after 3.5 equal to? What is the first integer which is greater than or equal to 3.5? There's 3.5. What's the first integer which is greater than or equal to 3.5? No, because 3.5 is not an integer, because it has to be a whole number. 4. And then what's the next one? 5, 6, 7, etc. So you might think, oh, the answer is x is 4, 5, 6, 7, etc. It's not, because they said write down the smallest integer. So the smallest integer is 4. So the answer is 4. You see? So a little bit sneaky, because some people in the exam perhaps would have stopped here. Yeah? Well, that would have been common, you know? Because you have to read quite precisely what they wanted here, you know? Okay. Let me give you a hard one now. The next one I want you to do is a bit like, you see this example I did earlier with the linear and the quadratic. It's a bit like that one, because you have a linear and a quadratic. On page 5, can you see in the middle, where it says solve the inequality, on the middle of page 5. Do you see that one? Yeah, this is like the example I did for you. The first type, is it linear or quadratic? What's that, linear or quadratic, the first one? Linear. And the second one? Quadratic. Now, wait, before you started, I'm going to point something out here. It says, state the values of x which satisfy neither. That's different to what I did. What do they mean here? Yeah, we want x's which do not solve the first and do not solve the second. That's a little different. Can you try this one now? Let's see how we do, and then I'll give you the answer. And don't forget to tick it off as you do it. Oh, by the way, in the quadratic, what's the ABC? What's the A in the quadratic? The B? -6. And the C? 0, yeah. How's it going down the back?
3.
You have it finished?
I finished.
Oh, good, okay.
3?
Say again?
3?
Don't know. I'll have to work it out. You got X is 3.
First X is 6.
And second?
2.8.
2.8? How'd you get 2.8? For the quadratic?
Yeah.
Double check your calculations. I don't think you... Oh wait, no, hang on. I don't think you should get 2.8. I think you should get a whole number. Should work out nicely. How's it going up the front here? First one's okay? Second one, did you get your 2 answers? No? I mean, you're doing it now, or... Yeah, okay. Over here?
I mean, I got something.
You got something. Something's good. You got 2 answers for the quadratic?
I got a 6 and a 0.
Good. Yep. Seems fine. So now your job is now to try and combine these for the last part. Yeah. Oh, did you figure out which is? No, you have to still work out the graph part. Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No. Only English. Only English. Tamam? Tamam, yeah, good, okay. How are we doing over here now? Which part are you on? Yeah, combining the answers. It's a bit tricky. More than a bit tricky. Let's have a look at this now. Okay. So I hope you all got the first part. 3x minus 8 over 2 more than 5. Right, what should I do first? Right, you can tell me. What do I do first?
Think the 2.
Thank you. So what do I get? 3x minus 8 more than 10. And then next, over. So what do I have now? Good. And then next, what's the last step? Yeah, divide by 3. So x is more than 6. Alright, well that's good. That's the first one done. Okay. Next part. We have x squared minus 6x plus 0 less than 0. Now, you got the two answers which are right. What were the two answers for x here?
6 and 0.
Yeah, 6 and 0. So here's a 6 and here's a 0. Okay. Did you figure out why you got 2.8 at the back?
Yes.
What happened?
I took the minus 6 as the B.
Yeah, no, it is B.
No, as C.
Okay, right. Now, do I want to be above or below? Here. Over or under? Under, isn't it? Okay, so if I'm here, do I want to be more than or less than 0? More than 0. And then here, x less than 6. Okay. Now for the tricky part, the neither. Okay? Neither means not. I don't want x's that could solve either of these equations. Do you understand my English, or has it gotten too difficult? Yeah. I don't want an x that could solve either of these. In other words, I want to pick the x's that can solve nothing. So let's figure out what those x's are. Here, my x's that work are x's more than 6. So if I'm looking to not have an answer, what should I be using? X less than or equal to 6. You see, that's the opposite of this. You know, if I tell you the answer is x is bigger than 1, then the not answer is 1 or less. Yeah? You just see too much maths and too much English at the same time. It's really difficult. Is this okay? You don't look... It looks like your brain's about to explode. It's okay. Are you sure?
Yeah.
Would you tell me if it wasn't okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I don't know. Some students are shy.
No.
No? Okay. So we're all happy with this? Yes? Okay. Now, maybe you guys can tell me what this one is. So here I'm saying the answer is x is bigger than 6 or less than 6. In other words, the x's between 0 and 6 are the answers. So what is not the answer? What is not between 0 and 6?
Because it's 7.
Could be like 7, 8, 9. Yeah, so how would I write that down? You all have the right idea, so how do I write that down? Well, let's start with this one. Now you see, yeah. X's. No. I want x to be less than or equal to 0. Because you said not between 0 and 6. What's it mean to be not between 0 and 6? It means to be smaller than 6 smaller than 0 or greater than 6. Who's calling me? Oh, I'm sure that's not important. Smaller than 0 or greater than 6. Yeah? Okay. So far as this is okay. So we want this x less than or equal to 6, and we also must have this. Okay, now the final part. How do we put these two together? So I'll draw a picture here to help. Can I go to the right? Yeah. So I want this and I want this.
X in the middle.
Yeah, well let me just draw this. 6, less than 6, that's here. And here, there's 0 and there's 6. And this is bigger than 6 and smaller than 0. Okay? And I want both. I need to pick x's that are true for both. So what values of x are here and here? The negative numbers, very good. So this is the answer. You might say, well, what about this? Why can't I use this? Why can't I use this? Yeah, it's more than 6, which I'm not to have. I'm only to have less than 6. So finally, the answer is finally this. And this is very, very difficult, okay? It is true, this one is very difficult. Because not only do you need to combine the answers, you need to combine not the answers. It's very, very hard. Very, very hard. But the good news is if you look at the marks, the first one, you get 1 mark. The second part, you get 3 marks. That's 4 marks. The last one for 2 marks, even if you screw that up, you still get 4 out of 6. Okay? 4 out of 6 is fine. 4 out of 6 is 67%, which is still a B grade. Okay? So, this last part is to tell the difference between the students who are A's and the students who are B's. It's to distinguish that grade. But you can still all easily get a high B by just doing the linear and the quadratic part as normal. Alright? Now let's see, how are we doing for time? No, we have to finish there. Can you tick that question off? So what I want to do, now that you have the book, I want to give you a little bit of homework. I want you to practice some of the questions with the line. So if you look at page 3, 1, 2, 3. Can you see the 4th question? Point A lies at. Can you see that? Okay, mark that as homework, right? Homework beside that. On page 5, I want you to do the first question, the second question, and the last algebra question. Before the probabilities, the last algebra one. Can you see? 1, 2, and the last one. Do you see that there? First, second, and this last one here. Before the probability. Yeah. They're all questions about the line, aren't they? Yeah. That's your homework for next week. Who's your maths teacher? Do I want you to give your homework to her? No. I'll check next week on your homework. You can let me know how you got on. If everybody gets all the questions right, there's no need for me to do them. But if you have trouble, of course I'll do them. Yeah? Alright. Now, do you want me to put any message at the end of this video for you? Like I can say hi to anyone or... No? You don't... do you want me to give a shout